Okay, we got a guy over here, came all the way from Odessa, Midland, Texas. How far is that?
350 miles.
350 miles. When did you leave?
Yesterday, Sunday.
You left yesterday? Oh, that's right. You said you came over here last night. I wasn't here. So he came up here. Now, the reason he came up here, he emailed me a couple days ago and said he had a motorcycle, a Big Dog motorcycle. That was a manufacturer when OCC choppers and all this other bullshit was real popular. All these companies popped up on these boutique bike-in-a-box situation when Harley-Davidsons were real popular. And Big Dog was one of them companies, right?
Yep.
So he bought a used Big Dog. It's called a Ridgeback. I guess that's a big, giant, long chopper with a... And it's got a big, long front end on it. I can kind of tell by the tank he got. And a big, fat tire. And he bought one of these used and decided, you know what, I want to go ahead and restore it. So he took the bike apart, stripped the motorcycle tanks, and went to paint it and had some serious issues with it. Let's talk with the guy's name's Paul, Odessa Paul, big biker guy Paul, and see what the fuck happened and what we can do to fix this problem, because there's a lot of people out there that this probably happens to, and it usually ends up being an easy fix. But we'll get Paul's side of the story first. Then we're going to go outside. We're going to check all the tank out. We're going to do a little bit of work to it and see if we can straighten it out and get it back to what he wants.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So you bought this motorcycle called Big Dog, Ridgeback, and you got all excited about it. Now, was it a running motorcycle when you bought it?
It was running.
And it had an S&S motor in it. We'll go ahead and tell everybody what S&S motor is. It's actually a knockoff of a Harley-Davidson motor, except it's usually a high performance, got more horsepower, this, that, and the other, and it's all the components are made by S&S.
Correct.
Now, does it even have an S&S carburetor on it?
Yep.
Okay, so everything's S&S, the cases, the heads, the cylinders, everything.
Complete.
Okay, which is one of the biggest aftermarket manufacturers of Harley-Davidson motorcycle engine parts. Alright, so you get this thing, and you said it was running and driving. Did you drive it around for a while, I guess?
Yep.
And the paint job actually looked pretty good on it.
Yep.
But knowing, you know, the guy that you are, and pretty much everybody that gets a new toy, they want to, you know, customize it and personalize it to their liking. And that's what you want to do, so you decided, I'm going to strip it down. What?
And put some ghost flames on it.
You strip it down, and what happened, dude?
Stripped it all the way down to the bare metal. Went back with epoxy primer. Went back with a base coat. Started getting a lot of orange peel.
Now, did you have any dents or anything in it? Did you have to do any body work?
I had to do a little bit of a Evercoat on the top.
Okay.
Put the epoxy primer on it, base coat, and that's where everything headed south on it.
Okay, did you put any 2K primer on it? Any sandable 2K primer?
The epoxy primer I used.
Okay, epoxy primer is non-sandable primer. That is not made to sand. That is a sealer.
Okay, this was a hybrid.
A hybrid.
Yeah, a hybrid epoxy primer.
Now, did it specifically say epoxy primer on the package?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say it one more time, dude. Epoxy primer is a non-sandable primer. outside. We're going to go through a real quick DIY, do-it-yourself automotive school lesson of what you should have done with it and how it'll turn out when we're all done. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Since you came all the way up here with your parts in hand, and then I'm going to let you be the judge whether you should take them back and finish them yourself or you want to leave them here and I'll just finish them. But I think once we get this little lesson going over here at DIY Auto School, I think that you might want to take it back and tackle it yourself. Maybe. Okay, so you basically heard the situation. Paul got into a bind, and he seems like he's pretty happy about it, and he's not really, upset and whining and crying. He knows he made a few mistakes, and he's here to see what can he do to fix those mistakes so the next time he tries to tackle a problem like this, it's going to run smooth. Let's get out in the shop. Let's check everything out, see what's going on with Paul and his Big Dog Ridgeback motorcycle. Alright, so if we look right here, here's Paul's gas tank. Looks like it's in real good shape. Now, I want to bring the tank over there. I want to show everybody this. You can see right in here, you can see how dry it is if you look inside there. So it looks to me like Paul had his air pressure up way too high when he was spraying, and he didn't really prep the tank properly. To really paint a motorcycle tank right, you really have to either hang these up or have a special stand and have the tank sitting like this. So if we take a good look right here, you can see all this overspray of dust that has actually flown in the air. Now, that's a sign that you were spraying with too much air and not enough paint. So your gun wasn't set properly and it was spraying too dry. What we're going to do to fix this problem, we're going to go ahead and wet sand this down using 400 grit. Then we are going to go ahead and see what it looks like then, and possibly go ahead and put a couple coats of ultra high build 2K primer, which is actually a sandable primer, not a non-sandable. A lot of people are confused about primers, okay? And epoxy primer, I don't care what anybody says, is a non-sandable primer. Alright, the only way to prep something up like this properly, you should have stripped it down to bare metal, sanded it down to 80 grit, your metal. Did you do that? Okay. So you didn't even prep the metal before you painted it? Wow.
Wiped it off. Wiped it off after a sand.
Okay, that's not good news. So you should have done that, and then you should have put 2 coats of primer on it, see? And that's what happened, dude, is you got too quick. So you said you watched my videos.
Right. Not close enough, evidently.
Obviously not, Paul. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a flexible block just like you see right here, soft on one side, hard on the other side. I got my 400, and what I'm going to do, if Paul can watch out, is we are going to sand that down. Now if you listen real close, you can hear it sanding, and you can hear how rough the finish is on it. So as you see me sanding it, you can also see that what I'm doing, I'm removing all of that dryness off of there. And if you listen real close, you can hear that now you're starting to hear a smooth and nice, even sand job. Go ahead and run your hand right there and feel that. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Now, we already know that you got all this primer and all this paint on here. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and sand this tank down because it's already screwed up anyway. And we're going to go ahead and apply some black paint to it, and then we're going to go ahead and put some Intercoat Clear on it and see what it looks like when we're done. So in a situation like this, sometimes you can catch it and sometimes you can't. But the real deal is your prep job. It's very important to make sure that you prep your item that you're painting properly and make sure that your spray guns are properly set before any painting is done at all. Alright, we went ahead and sanded down the tank. It's ready for paint. It's in the paint booth hanging up. Now, just to refresh everybody, this is what we're looking at right there. Paul kind of screwed up, got in a hurry, really didn't know what he was doing. It's not his fault. Got excited, thought he'd go ahead and buy the House of Color paint, which is very expensive, am I right? Okay, you don't need to go to that extreme, alright? You don't have to get the best paint in the world, but you do got to high quality paint. So you can see the dry finish that we got here. I sanded the tank down to 400 wet. Let's go look at it. It's paint ready and see what's going on. So if we look right there, there's the tank hanging up. It's ready to be painted. You can see how smooth it is. Very quick sand job. And I believe what happened is Paul had several different angles of doing it wrong. And when I say that, he had settings on his gun that were not properly set, probably using the wrong nozzle and spray pattern as well. And then also where he was painting it in the environment, he didn't really have the tank hanging up. He was getting a lot of overspray underneath here, which was consistently blowing up onto the sides and creating a whirlpool of dry paint. So having it hanging up like this, we'll be able to go ahead and paint the whole tank, front and back. And hopefully we won't have to do nothing but go ahead and apply the paint and then put our inner coat clear on it for our artwork. Okay, now Paul mentioned, if you want to come over here, Paul, behind my shoulder, you were talking about the House of Color paint is a 2-to-1 mix?
Correct.
Okay, so that's a pretty thick paint because PPG paint's 50-50, all right? Now, the thing about the paint that you're using is versus, let's say, PPG, such as this paint here, Deltron. Feel how heavy that can is. Okay, that's very, very thick. All right, that's why you would reduce that 50-50 because this is a high quality paint. Versus this brand right here, which is still PPG, but this is one step down from that. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you feel this, that's a pint. Now put this, that's a quart. You see they're about the same? Does that feel about the same to you? Okay, so the House of Color is basically equivalent to this paint here. That's why it's a 2-part paint, 1-part reducer to make it equivalent to the 50-50 mix on the thick stuff, all right? And I think what happened is you had several different things going on. You didn't mix your paint properly. It looked like the spray gun you were using, if you could go, you got it with you or?
No.
Okay, you said you had it. I thought you had it. You don't have it, so we won't look at it. I think that the nozzle that you were using was probably blowing too much air out, not enough paint. You were getting overspray up underneath and it was flying back up on top, this, that, and the other. It's very important when you're painting this kind of stuff that you have to paint the whole thing. So what I got here is I got some PPG Shopline Plus, which is one step down from Deltron. And this is already mixed. You can tell when you shake it up, it sounds like it's already watery and runny. We're going to go ahead and spray some of this on there. This has got medium reducer in it, so it should go on really nice. What I'm going to do on your paint so we don't have a reaction, I'm going to put a couple dry coats on first, and then once we get the dry coats on it covers, then we can work our way into the wet paint because we don't know if it's going to react or not. If it reacts, then we're going to have to strip it down to bare metal and start over. Now, once we get done applying the base coat, Paul's talking about possibly doing a little bit of artwork on it, maybe some ghost flames, this, that, or the other. So we will not be putting urethane clear on it. What we will be putting on it is some DBC Intercoat 500. And what this is, it's called Color Blender, but it's also a sealer that will seal the paint. We can sand that down, put our artwork on it, then apply our urethane clear coat. So that's what we'll be applying it to it. But I think that you'll see a 100% difference just from using this, that, and doing it the right way. Okay, we got the tank hanging up. We're going to go ahead and spray a couple coats of paint on it. We're going to see what happens. Now, the first couple coats that I put on are going to be very quick and very dry due to the fact that this is a foreign paint that I don't use. We don't want any blistering effects or any such fisheye or whatever might happen. So I'm going to go ahead and put some very dry coats on it first, let those dry, then I'll apply a couple wet coats, and by that time our paint should be looking pretty good. Applied the 2 dry coats. I went ahead and put 2 full wet coats of paint. Then I went ahead and applied the sealer. Now this is not clear coat, this is sealer. We gotta let it dry 24 hours. And then Paul, the owner, has decided that we are gonna go ahead and put ghost flames on it. So by applying our sealer, our clear coat sealer, that really helped out because you gotta do that anyway. Let's take a look at it and see what it looks like after we fix the problem. All right, what are you thinking, Paul?
Not even the same tank.
It's not even the same tank. You can see by the shine on it. Look how it laid down. No orange peel. I can see your reflection in it, and that's only sealer. That's not even clear coat, dude. So I think it came out really, really nice. I think what happened, bud, is we found out that you also used denatured alcohol on it to wipe it down and clean it. Am I correct?
Correct.
And that was a no-no. So that probably helped out by causing problems that you had. Let's look at the back of the tank and see what we got, bud. Remember it was all dry and nasty? Look how nice and looks like a show bike now, like it should.
Not even the same tank.
So there's another situation you have when you're painting stuff like this. If you don't got the proper stands, hang that thing up. If I was not going to hang it up, I probably would have made a stand that I could bolt it to, so it would be like floating in the air, where I'd be able to take my gun and spray underneath it. That's how the professionals do it. So I think it's going to work out good. I think it's going to be a nice situation for you, and you're going to save a lot of money. Most people that would take this job in, they'd probably go ahead and tell you, you know what, that's going to have to be stripped down to bare metal and redone, and they'd probably screw you in your ass by fucking you around. You said that you got a quote from some guy, and how much was he going to charge you to repaint these?
$5,000 to $7,000.
$5,000 to $7,000. My friend Pete's doing it for probably less than a third of that, and it's going to look awesome, dude. All right, so what are you thinking, Paul? What did you learn today coming over to my friend Pete's over here at D.I.Y Auto School, and tell us the situation of what's going on?
Well, I sanded the epoxy primer, which I'm not supposed to. Wiped it down with denatured alcohol, not supposed to. Probably had the wrong tip on the gun not set right.
Just a combination of all kinds of stuff.
Everything.
Frustration will get you nowhere. Probably what happened, I'm going to be honest with you, bud, Paul, is you probably started screwing it up, then you started getting mind-boggling. Well, I probably messed this up, let me redo this, blah, blah, blah. One thing led into another, and this is what happened, bud.
3 times of redoing it.
Three times.
That's why I'm here.
So there's three different paint jobs on top of that fender. Thank God that we're on Lucky Lane today. You see what we got here? Lucky Lane, my friend. And we got lucky that we didn't have to strip it down to bare metal. I'll go ahead and wet sand these down just like I did the tank. We'll go ahead and blend our paint in just like we did, put some sealer on it, and I think you're going to be all right. Once again, if we look at the bottom of that, you did say that that overspray got up in there. Look how dry that is. By shooting that fender the way you did, that overspray was drying and shooting back on top of it, so you were shooting dry paint on top of wet paint, bam, 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 back and forth. You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
All right, let's get her done, do it right. At D.I.Y Auto School. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you and telling you, even guys like Paul, how to do it right. Do you think you'll ever be able to paint another car, Paul?
Absolutely. I know what to stay away from now, what to do right.
All right, take it easy. We'll see you later.
For watching D.I.Y Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.